Ngaya Mob, it is time to reintroduce myself to the world, to my community, to people who are new here or people who are going to choose to stay on and walk this next season with me. It is almost the end of 2025 and we are on the precipice of 2026. 2025 at this time in December, whereas most people lay down, they put everything to rest and they're like, I've achieved what I wanted to do. I'm ready to have a rest, a break, a holiday, and then enter into 2026 when it starts next year. Or they've just done with the year because it's been a really difficult year, or they just haven't been able to do what they set out to do. So they're just like, I'm done. Whereas I'm ramping up, I'm activating into my power and my potential because I want to ensure that I end 2025 the way I mean to enter 2026. And I use the remaining days of this year to activate my own warrior heart and to share with the world who I am and how I'm weaving the warrior heart, the Kililana Foundation, and the journey to Black Belt World Champion. And they're all threads of the same dreaming of me being the woman living these journeys and wanting to share them with the world. And recently I've had a lot of new people come into the world off of the back of a post that went viral, that was more a governing statement. It was more a declaration for myself than it was to the world of, I'm done playing small, I'm done negotiating my identity. Even though I didn't think that I was doing that, I was still living from this experience of not being too much, or of being too much or not enough, or not being safe to be myself in the world. But literally within weeks and days of each other, off of the back of an experience of a senior Aboriginal female elder commenting on a post that I had shared about cultural teachings that I had with young people in the community, saying that I wasn't allowed to call myself Barkindji, to a non-Indigenous man spewing his racist bullshit at me in a post around inviting other women to connect with my empowerment teachings, to an Indigenous man abusing me at the front of my workplace, to the challenges that I've got at home behind the sustainability of the Kililana Foundation that I founded in 2020 while I was pregnant with my son. And I just had enough. So I got to a point where I activated my own warrior heart and I made a statement that my identity, my journey, and what comes next is, and even my past, is not up for negotiation. I don't need someone else's permission or authority or to apologize for who I've been, who I am, and who I'm becoming, and how I am weaving. I am the Barkindji Warrior, a dreaming-led woman rising into my dreaming, culturally grounded, ancestrally guided, and dreaming-led of becoming a Black Belt World Champion, of activating warrior hearts across the world through their story, through movement, through culture, through identity, and through self-mastery. And this isn't something that I'm sharing 10, 20 years down the track when I've already achieved or already created the vision and I'm already living the multi-million dollar business that I have created off of the back of my story and being a personal brand so that I can fund the change I want to see in the world. I can invest in it, not just do the change. That I'm already a multiple Black Belt World Champion, that I'm a global international speaker, storyteller, brand, activating warrior hearts and creating brave spaces for us to come home to ourselves, for us to be able to stand in our power, be our truth, and follow our hearts. This is something that I am living actively out loud, and it is something that I wanted to share with you. 2025 has been a year, it's a 9-year, it's the year of the snake. It's a year that is all coming full circle, where it is the closing of chapters, the shedding of what no longer belongs. And I thought this was going to be like my launchpad year. I thought this was the year I was going to launch the book, win the Black Belt World title, and Kililana would be sustainable. My home life would be stable and sustainable, not still being in survival mode. That was not the case. There was still work to be done. And I didn't understand that at the start of the year. At the start of the year, my words were heart and hustle. That then evolved into said, you know what? I don't want to hustle for what I'm here to do. And then I changed my word to peace. Well, the ancestors brought me war this year. And what I realized through navigating this year, it was my Kung Fu Panda inner peace season, and it still is that it's not about not being at war. It's about being at peace with myself amongst the war, in the way that the world is, in the way that my experience is, in the way my self-expression is received by others and the world around me. And this is the birthplace of the evolution of the warrior heart and the Barkindji Warrior, of getting the story out into the world, of me writing my book and releasing that in 2026. Suicide to World Champion, the journey and the becoming of the Barkindji Warrior and the birthplace of the warrior heart as a movement, as a space, as a teaching, as a mandate. My journey to Black Belt World Champion and how that's unfolding, building a global movement and a multi-million-dollar business from scratch. Now, I've already achieved and experienced some really significant and amazing milestones in my life. First and foremost, I'm a proud Barkindji, and I'm known in my community as Shantelle, Auntie Shan, but the most important roles that I hold is Namika, being a very proud mum to my 5 children, my murapa, my oldest being 18, my youngest being 4, 16-year-old twins, and my 10-year-old niece. They are the love of my life. And then I've got my 2 other little nephews who are also being raised alongside my son. This creates 7 beautiful children that I see as mine. I'm Auntie Shan to many more. And these are the roles and that are the foundation of who I am. But underneath that, the seed of it is Shantelle the woman, Shantelle the human being. And this season is about me taking what I need and doing the work that I need to do to become the woman who can be the Namika, the Auntie Shan, the leader, the founder, the world champion, the black belt, the $1 million brand, the investor, the philanthropist, whatever it's meant to become. This season is about me rising into my wings, rising into that next version of myself, unapologetically, without permission, and through the authority of being chosen and called by my ancestors and my dreaming, and being given the custodianship, being the matriarch and the founder of these movements, these spaces, and these dreamings. And the fact that they all weave together. They are not singular dreaming. They are dreamings that weave together. And I had to put this together because it was, how does it all come together, and me standing in the center of all of this, and the fact that I'm trying to weave the journey to Black Belt, Warrior Heart, and Kilana into one pathway. It is one songline expressed through different forms, through different threads. And this is what I'm sharing, is that this is just me being me and following the dreaming that the ancestors have gotten. Is that the Barkindji Warrior is the embodied story, the athlete, the living example. The Warrior Heart is the movement, the teachings, the philosophies, the coaching, the framework for how other people can become their own world champions, can become their own warriors. And Kilana is the community legacy, the cultural responsibility, the next generation. And Suicide to World Champion, the journey of becoming the Barkindji Warrior, is the lived experience. It is the wayfinding. It is the narrative and the thread that holds it all together. And it's about building the map and the identity as the anchor. I am the Barkindji Warrior, a dreaming-led woman rising into Black Belt World Champion, activating warrior hearts across the world through example, story, movement, culture, and self-mastery. And this is my way of sharing that with you and meeting you here in this moment. And that I have a big vision, a big heart, and a big calling on my life. And my individual purpose is to become the most powerful, aligned, true version of myself, because everyone else and everything else becomes beneficiaries of who I become in the journey, in the living of my truth. And that is something that has taken me a long time. I've known for a long time, but the doing and the being of that truth is where I'm at now, and sharing the journey behind the scenes of creating a community where I get to share these teachings and this wisdom, but also get to walk this journey with others who are activating their warrior heart. Because here's what I know to be true, is that the greatest purpose and the greatest truth comes from our heart, because our heart bypasses ego and it bypasses trauma. And if you have a vision or a calling or a dream, you were gifted that for a reason. And if you've already got a vision of what comes next, or like 10, 20, 30 years from now, that is because that dream, that vision is possible. Your ancestors, God, whoever you believe in, whoever guides you, have just shown you, have let you look into the window of what is already done in another life, in another timeline. Your job is to become the person who can build the bridge from this version of you to that version of you, because we wouldn't have been shown these things if it wasn't already possible. And what I know to be true from my own journey is that what we are shown is the foundation, is the floor of our next level. Because if they really showed us what that next level is and who we have to become to do it, most of humanity would shut down. And for many of us, it is still not safe to be ourselves in the world, our true selves, just ourselves as we are, nothing less or nothing more, already worthy, already enough. But we have to give ourselves permission to do this. We have to be willing to own our shit, to face our own bullshit, and to take responsibility for where we are contributing to our own trauma, to our own wounds, to our own circumstances. Because for many of us, no choice is still a choice. And if we look at our circumstances and where we feel stuck, where we feel wounded or overwhelmed, or where we're stuck in dangerous situations, there are moments or threads where we could have chosen differently, or where we are choosing to stay small or in survival mode just to exist in the world. This is about owning our shit. This is about breaking ourselves out of our own chains and our victim mindset mentality to get up and be the warrior in our own lives, because you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight your own conditioning, your own trauma, your own chains in order to break through. And for me, this is welcome to the Warrior Heart movement. Welcome to Shantelle Thompson, Barkindji Warrior, Warrior Heart Proud, Barkindji Nyimpa woman, Ngamika, mother of 5, Anishan to many more, the matriarch, the founder, the custodian of and weaving the dreaming of the Warrior Heart, the Journey to Black Belt, and the Kilana Foundation, all one song line, but different threads that create a different purpose. And I'm living this journey alongside you, inviting you to come onto this movement where I'm now sharing coaching opportunities, creating communities, sharing my story. And this is an invitation for you to walk with me. Hit like or subscribe wherever you're seeing this, and come on board for the journey, because 2025 was the preparation. It was the shedding. It was the coming full cycle and ending the stories and the narratives, the patterns, the behaviors, and laying to rest the old selves, the old stories that cannot come with me. Because what I have been through in the last 3 years to get to this point, and the fact that I am even still here, is a testament to how much the ancestors have in store for me, and how needed I am, and how chosen and called I am for these movements. And I get to do them all simply by being myself. That I am already worthy, that I am already enough, that I am already allowed. And this is me writing my book. This is me creating a global speaking platform. This is me creating communities, opening doors and inviting people to come along, and me sharing how I went from suicide to world champion, how I started my entrepreneurial journey, how I am able to speak my story from my heart, how I ended a 20-year relationship that no longer served me, that was no longer my truth or my safe space, how I was able to face my own truth that I was living in a domestic violent relationship, and the experience that has come from that, surviving multiple attempts on my own life, hospitalization in February of 2024 for suicidal ideation, and building myself up and picking myself up from my darkest moments. This is what I'm going to be sharing. This is what is being built and woven next. 2026 is my year to fly. It is my year to own my voice, my truth, my story, bravely and boldly myself without apology. I already have everything I need, and I'm bringing all of that passion, all of that wisdom, the 42 years, all of my accolades, everything with me into this next season. And this is your invitation to walk with me, to witness the journey to Black Belt World Champion, to be a part of the Warrior Heart community, to be a part of the inner circle, to bring me into your workplace, into your life, into your community. If you feel alignment or you feel connected to this. And this is me being me, Shantelle Thompson, nothing less, nothing more. All my dreaming, all my weaving, all my big heart. And this is me bringing the Barkindji Warrior, Warrior Heart to the world through my story, through my experience, and through my journey. If this has spoken to you, hit like or subscribe. DM me Warrior Heart and I will share with you different ways that you can walk with me, that you can invest, that you can weave with me, that you can go on your own Warrior Heart journey. This is a time to do things differently. We're ready, we're needed, as we are. Big love you, mob.